We don't have very much wind today, so I'm hoping my spot lock's going to keep me pretty straight. I'm going to just hang out here for about 45 seconds to a minute and let the little bit of wind that we do have get me adjusted straight so I can go ahead and start casting. If I start moving around a little bit too much, I might go ahead and throw some anchors out. But with it being a Saturday evening, I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of boat traffic and everything, so anchors might not hold me too well, but we'll see what happens. That's fishing, man. That's fishing. I am going to go ahead and start pitching out some rods. With these blueback herring, you probably can't see it on the camera, but they have a little piece in their nose, piece of cartilage. You want to just put that hook straight through there like that. Make sure your rod is set correctly so that you don't bird nest when you throw out. On to the next one. It's pretty important that you keep herring that's in good shape. That's why I like going to the herring hut. They always seem to have really good, lively herring. I don't really care where I'm fishing on the lake. I basically buy from herring hut. So, with that being said, try to keep them in good shape if you can. And that's really all there is to it this time of year. They're pretty shallow. Pretty sure it has something to do with the herring spawn. So the herring will get up on the shoals and stuff like that. And at Clarks Hill Lake, wherever the herring be is where you should be. If you're fishing for, I would say pretty much almost any game fish, you need to kind of pay attention to what the patterns are of the herring, because that's what they're chasing. And that's why we use herring to fish for them. You can, oh, I lost my bait. You can catch them with artificials. People do it all the time. But not my cup of tea. Yeah, see, like if they fall on the ground like that, I go ahead and throw them out and just grab another one if possible. And that's what happens if you don't get them hooked in that cartilage really good. They can wiggle off. You don't have to cast far. And when I'm using my spot lock, I typically prefer to keep the, I typically don't fish with tight lines because you will move a little bit on the spot lock. It's because you're basically depending on the wind to keep you straight, and boat traffic and the wind changing directions and stuff like that can really kind of aggravate you every now and again. But it looks like we pretty much have basically perfect wind today for fishing, so this kind of fishing, at least, not too crazy, but it's enough to keep you squared away how you need to be to pitch out like what we're doing today. There was one that just jumped right there. Yeah, like I said, they've been pretty active over here at this spot for a couple weeks. This spot's been producing for me, so we'll see what we can get into. The couple YouTube videos that I've made were not in public, so it does feel kind of weird being on a boat by yourself talking, but I'm sure I'll get over it. I'm a grown man. I'm sure that everybody else on YouTube has went through that. Oh yeah, they just caught one. Seems like the boat's holding pretty steady, so I'm going to go ahead and throw 2 more rods out on the front. Well, I said I wanted to be fishing by 6:30, and it is now 6:30. So that worked out perfect. Here we go. I got a bite. Ah! Oh, nope, he's on there. See if I can sling him in here. Whoa. Last week was 19. Let's reset our clicker. We got 1. Let's catch another, shall we? Yep. The wind is not being our friend right at the moment. I think I'm gonna have to reel all these rods in and unfortunately put the anchors out, but we've got a bite first we got to deal with. See what we got going on over here. Oh yeah, boy. Oh, he popped off. Son of a gun. Whatever. I'm gonna reel these rods in and then I'm gonna go ahead and throw the anchors out because it appears as though there are still fish on this shoal and it won't be a waste of my time to be here. So now that I know that to be a fact, I'm gonna go ahead and reel these rods in, get everything set back up, and I will roll the camera once again. So y'all hang out and I'll get right back to it. Ow, son of a bitch. Got some honkers flying above. You know, it's kind of crazy how I'm fishing less than probably 150 foot from this island. There's 4 foot of water to the left of where I'm standing right at this moment, and people still will drive between me and the island instead of just staying in the channel. It's kind of crazy if you ask me, but whatever. People don't have any respect these days. And then they'll still wave at you. Whatever. I think while I'm waiting to get a bite, I'm probably going to go ahead and retie those 2 rigs that are broken. I go ahead and pre-tie a bunch of leaders for my Carolina rigs with a knotless knot. Owner sniper finesse hooks. So what we're going to do here is grab us a 2-ounce sinker, 3 beads, and a swivel. I like to just go ahead and get all 3 of those things in my hand before I start. Go ahead and throw our sinker on, followed by 3 beads. You don't necessarily have to use 3. You can use 1 if you want. I just like the way they look. It's really just personal preference. Plus, I kind of think that when that lively bait's down there dancing around, getting a bite over here to my left. Let's see if I can get this thing tied up real quick. I'm sure he'll stay buttoned up, man. Those owner hooks are crazy good. Yep, he's still buttoned up. Let's reel down on him or something, huh? Yeah, got his ass. You're boned, bro. I got you. Cold steel in the face. It's over with, man. Well, not yet. I did just lose one earlier, but more than likely a hybrid because he is running all over the place. He's probably about to take me for a walk all the way around the boat. I'll see if I can keep him on this side, though. He seems like probably a decent fish. Sure is pulling. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with him. I'm going to have to go with him for sure. Let's see, where is he? Oh, yeah, baby. Took me for a walk all the way around the boat. He's still going, too. This is a nice fish. This is a very nice fish. Now we're going back this way. I really, really don't want to break this fish off. Oh no, I'm getting another bite. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got 2 on, baby. We got 2 on. Oh God. I don't even care about this one. I got a nice fish on this rod right here. I don't give a shit about that other one. He can stay there and do whatever he wants. Tangle up my lines, do whatever you want. I need this fish in the boat. Oh yeah. That's a nice fish. That is a nice hybrid, baby. All right. About to put him in the rod holder and then see what's up on this one. Still on there. Still on there too. Don't think I'm weird for talking to myself. I'm doing YouTube, Alan. Yo, I got a double right now. Uh-oh. Damn it, I shouldn't have said I'm gonna let him tangle my rods up, because that's exactly what he did. To the T. Messed up all of my stuff. Woo! Let's see if we can get some of this other stuff untangled real quick. All right, that one's free. That one's free. Cool, that worked out for the best. Yeah. Let's go ahead and hit that clicker 2 more times. I'm gonna have to get the net out to grab this one. Wow, he was barely hooked. Check that out. I just pulled it straight out of his mouth. Pretty nice hybrid. All right. Let's get some baits back out, huh? All right. Oh man, we got another one hitting right here. Yeah. Man, this is a good spot. I swear. I'm telling you right now. It's a good spot. Uh-oh. Can one of y'all grab the net for me? What are you even on the boat for if you ain't gonna help? Shoot. Don't forget to hit that clicker. Got 4 in there right now. Barely got any bait out, so I better hurry up, huh? All right, let's try to get this rig tied up before we hopefully get another bite. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I just go ahead and tie up some owner hooks on some 20-pound Yozuri with a knotless knot. It's already ready to go. Put a zip tie around them. Tie you up a little Carolina rig. Let me make sure I didn't mess that up trying to hurry up and grab that fish. People are idiots out here. Straight up dumbasses, man. But life goes on. I don't know if y'all could see that on camera, but two bass boats just flying in between me and this island that's about 50 to 100 foot away. Just flying, running down through there. Probably 60 miles an hour. With absolutely no regard for me or my safety or what I got going on over here. But that's fishing. People don't care, man. People don't care. So yeah, go ahead and tie us up some rigs on our rods that got broken rigs. That way when we break another one, we can go ahead and replace it and get bait back in the water. So fishing can be a little bit like work. Not saying I'm any good, but better than some. Yeah, like I said, I go ahead and get my weight. Throw that on there. I gotta get these sunglasses off. Yep, throw your weight on there. Like I said, I like 3 beads. And then you can go ahead and throw your swivel on. You always seem to get a bite when you're doing something. So I try to stay busy when I'm on the boat, if at all possible. Go ahead and snag me one of my pre-tied knotless knots with a leader on it. I like my leaders probably 12 to 15 inches. It keeps them kind of castable. Keeps them kind of castable, and I don't know. I've just never really needed them to be any longer. I think 12 to 15 inches is about perfect for me. See, this rod keeps getting tight back here. Let's see if we're caught on something or if we got a catfish, huh? Yeah, I think we're caught on something. Oh, not anymore. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's a catfish. Not moving left and right. I don't know. It could be a branch. It feels like dead weight. Yep. That's exactly what that is. Piece of wood. Ugh. Shot water in my face. Fucking gross. Definitely want to check that knot out. Let's get a bait back out there. Pew. See what else we can get into this evening. Me and my buddy over there, Alan, both got our splashers going. But you can grab a little piece of PVC pipe and put a rag on the bottom of it and tape it. Use it as a thumper. Make a little bit of noise. Sometimes it draws them in. I learned that from a pretty respectable guide in the area named Tony. If you want to learn how to do this kind of stuff, you can always get a guided trip or 3. Let the pros show you what's going on, because some people are better at learning hands-on. It's kind of how I am, but it's all like a culmination of a lot of things, like looking up YouTube videos like this, for instance, where people kind of show you what's going on. And I'll show you guys what's up on Navionics and stuff like that, so that you can find shoals like this to get on for early spring. Probably not going to show the exact spot that I'm on right now, but I'm sure a lot of people that have fished on this lake a lot probably know where I'm at. Hopefully they'll be respectful enough not to steal my spots, but whatever. You know, there's plenty of other spots. I found this spot and I can find another one, so no big deal. Like I said, I've been fishing over here for about 2 months. Pretty much every weekend for 2 months and had pretty good luck, so. But yeah, I would not dream of going striper fishing without a splasher and a stick to hit the bottom of the boat. I honestly can't tell you with scientific evidence if it works or not, but I have like major ADHD, so it kind of helps keep me busy while I'm waiting on a bite. And like I said, I mean, they make thumper boxes and stuff like that. So obviously it's not just me or just me and the people that I've learned a lot of things from in the fishing community around the CSRA. I'm definitely a big fan of fishing off of this pontoon for sure. It's a whole lot different than my bass boat that I had or my 17-foot Carolina skiff. Even though the pontoon's only 17 foot or 16 foot, it just seems to be there's a lot more room because it's a lot wider. And I think we're getting a bite right here, so let's pick up on that and see if we feel anything pull. think that's probably just the boat moving around, so I'm going to let out a couple foot of line. So it doesn't move around so much. Checking my battery life. I think we're still good to go. You get any bites yet, Alan? I got 4 in the cooler right now. And another one coming in. It's definitely a hybrid. You probably can't see the line, but they move left and right a lot, like crazy. Oh yeah, he's pulling pretty good. Nice. I usually just lay them on my pants like that till they calm down for a second. Pinch them in their mouth because those gill plates will get you. Their gills are pretty sharp. And then obviously the spines and whatnot. Must have not grabbed my pliers yet, so let's see if we can find those. When these fish swallow the hook like that, you can usually go down in between their gills if you're planning on keeping them, and then just twist the hook right out. Pretty easy, instead of trying to shove your pliers down in their mouth and whatnot. Makes it a little bit easier. Don't forget to click your clicker. We are halfway to a one-man limit right now. And we've been fishing for exactly 1 hour. So let's get baited back up and see what we got going on. Straight in, right dead center between the eye and the front of the mouth, you'll find that kind of translucent white spot that you can put that hook through and it'll keep them on there. But yeah, that's all there is to it, man. I mean, it's not that complicated. It took me about a year or two to get pretty good at it. I started taking hybrid fishing and stripers pretty seriously last spring, so about 1 year ago. I've always liked fishing for them, but I've never been very good at it until about mid to late last year. Let's see what else we run into out here tonight. I might not be able to fish very long. I'm already halfway to a limit, so if we keep doing this good, hopefully I'll be out of here before dark. Not that you necessarily have to limit out every time, but being a business owner and everything, I've got a lot of older clients that can't really get out and fish very much, and they love eating these bass and everything, so I'll provide them with them, or my granny and papa or whoever. I also donate a good bit of fish to the VA for their fish fry fundraisers that they do. So I keep a good bit of fish, but it's usually for a pretty good cause. I don't hoard them all for myself or waste them if I can. I try not to waste anything. if you take an animal or a fish's life, definitely try not to waste them. Sorry if the banging is kind of annoying on camera, but it definitely works. I mean, you can see I've been doing it just about the whole time. And it's for sure not running them off. Uh-oh. Alan's getting a bite over there. That pin jammer. Is that a fish? Damn. Yeah, Alan's probably about 25 yards from me, anchored up. He's got his second fish coming in. He looks like a pretty decent one too. He's got that rod in a horseshoe right now, doubled over. Yeah, these fish fight really good. I mean, if you get into hybrid fishing and you end up being any good, I hope your wallet's ready, because it's not a cheap addiction. And you will get addicted to it, trust me. It's kind of tough not to get complacent when you find a good spot that just produces basically every single weekend for a month or 2 months. It's really hard not to get complacent. But honestly, if you kind of like know where the fish are and you're on them, fish the same spot. You know what I'm saying? Fish it till it quits producing and then move on. But if you want to get serious about this, definitely got to get a lake map or a Navionics, or get a Lake Master card for your fish finder. But I like having Navionics personally because you can sit there while you're taking a poop or anywhere else, riding in the car if you're in the passenger seat, obviously. Just sit there and look at spots that you want to try if you know what kind of structure you should be looking for them on. We might be getting a bite on that front rod right there. I can't tell. I pretty much just wait for them to double the rod over if possible. I know it really makes you just want to yank on it, but when you see them tapping like that, but I try to wait for them to double the rod over and then just wait for them to yank and you yank back. It's the third fishing trip in a row that I've snapped off a decent fish. I'm not necessarily sure if that one was a pig or not, but he was big enough to break 20-pound line for sure. Here we go. Yeah, see, if you see him tapping like that, you can just grab it out the rod holder if you want, but wait for him to pull, and then you can set the hook on him. That one definitely just got tapped. So I am going to hold onto that rod for a minute or so and see if he does anything. Or you can always put it back in the rod holder. Most of the time, though, I like to check my bait. If I pick up on the rod and I just saw it get tapped like that, I'll pull it in and check on my bait. Because you pretty much want to have the best herring you can have on there, if possible. Because those hybrids, they like a good lively bait. Yeah, I bet you he stole my bait. Darn. Can't win them all. That's fishing. Let's throw another one on there and get it out. Right through that cartilage. Yeet! I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rush till life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. Sunrises and sunsets on Clark's Hill sure are nice. I haven't really done too much fishing in the evenings well into the night until lately, honestly. Like all of last year, I pretty much got up at about 3 in the morning and had a 1-hour drive to the herring hut, and then wherever I wanted to go fish for the day was obviously extra. But so typically I would get out here before daylight. If I fish in the morning, I definitely get out here about an hour before daylight, because you don't know when they're going to start biting in the morning usually. But I've figured out that if you come out here in the evening, get out here about 5:30, 6 o'clock, you can basically fish until you don't feel like fishing anymore. There's not really a timeline, whereas in the morning, you know, you basically fish until about 11 o'clock. They seem to quit biting for the most part. I mean, if you're fishing for striper, specifically like big stripers and stuff, you can fish throughout the day. Oh shit, I'm over here talking and I'm getting a bite. Yeah, you can fish for them pretty much throughout the day, but hybrids in the morning seem to just bite for a while and then kind of turn off. This is a good fish. He's pulling some drag on me. Whoa. Oh man, another one. Poor me. 2 fish at the same time. Put him down in the holder for 1 second and make sure I get the hook set on him real quick. Grab this one back out because it seems like probably a way better fish. And I'll bother with that smaller one here in a second. But I'm gonna get my good fish out the water first. Oh yeah, he's not necessarily a hog jammer or anything, but he's pretty nice. I try not to complain about my fishing ever if possible. People say a bad day of fishing's better than a good day at work, but I don't think that's true. Yep, that other one's still on there. Wow, this is the second time on this trip that we've doubled up like this. Wow, that is a nice fish, actually. He's pulling some drag. I don't think he's as good as that other one, but he'll do, won't he? Sling him in the boat. Put 2 clicks on our clicker. Nice little hybrid. Get that up out the way. Set this rod to the side for 1 second while I get my second fish unhooked. He's trying to wrestle me a little bit. You gotta watch out when you unhook those hooks when they're down in their throat like that, because if you got them under tension, they'll fly straight into your finger. It's a pretty nice fish. Anyway, let's quit BSing and get some bait back out, huh? How many is that now? 7, y'all? Is that 7 fish? Let's look. Yep. Sitting at 7. We can legally catch 3 more fish. Well, 3 more stripers. I did get 4 dozen bait because I didn't know how much moving around I was going to have to do tonight, but we'll see how the night rolls. Big Al reeling another one in. There we go. Where did this one come from, y'all? Oh, straight back. Yeah, my throat is dry. Yeah, to hell with being in the house, honestly. The weather's nice. You can catch me at the lake. Catch me outside. But yeah, I'm not really too sure exactly what my goal is with the whole YouTube thing. If I'm being honest with you, I definitely would like to kind of showcase this amazing fishery that we have access to. And as far as I know, from searching up Clark's Hill striper, you know, there's a video here and there. There's videos around, like old ones, stuff like that, but I don't really think there's anybody around that specifically focuses on Clark's Hill. So we can definitely do something here. Hopefully it'll be somewhat informative to some people. Like I said, there's a lot of great fishermen on this lake, and I probably don't know half of what they've forgotten about, but I know enough to be dangerous out here, you know what I mean, for the fish. Certain times of the year are better than others, it seems. Pretty much like dead of winter isn't too good. From what I've seen, I haven't had the best experience dead of winter, and then dead of summer kind of sucks because it's really hot. Yeah, this is my favorite way to fish right here on shoals. Like I said, once we get back to the house and get settled in for the evening, I'll probably go ahead and show what a shoal is if you guys don't know how to find it on a lake map. A lot of times you can look for these, it'll be almost like a fence post looking thing sticking out of the water in what seems to be the middle of the lake. They can be in the middle or up towards shore a little bit, or right out from an island like I'm sitting right now. But it'll be like a little post with an orange and reflective tape on it. If you don't have like spot lock or anchors and all that stuff, you can just go and tie up to one of those. Pretty much tie right up. Because like I said, this time of year the fish are pretty shallow, so yep, you can just go get you some herring, come out here, tie up to a shoal marker, flip your splasher on, grab your stick, start hitting the boat. And then if you're in a pretty decent spot, I mean, they usually don't take but 15-20 minutes to start biting. If you're in a decent spot, it just depends what time of day you're there too, really. And it kind of seems like, if y'all haven't noticed this yet, that it kind of seems like they'll go through little spurts where they bite basically for a couple minutes pretty hard. Like, as y'all can see, I've doubled up twice. And then they'll kind of die off for a little bit, but I try not to fish in the same spot for more than about 15-20 minutes. If I don't get a bite, I'll pick up and move somewhere if I have to. But as long as you're getting pretty much a bite every 5, 10, 15 minutes, I would probably never sit somewhere for more than 30 minutes. Just depending on the situation and everything, I would never sit somewhere for more than about 30 to 45 minutes without moving if I haven't caught a fish yet. It kind of just depends. If you're fishing for big fish, some of those guys do that, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan of sitting in one spot if the fish aren't biting. The cool thing about the fishing on the shoals and everything too is that you pretty much only need an anchor or some sort of rope to tie up to the shoal marker. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a spot lock trolling motor or fish finder or any of that stuff. As long as you got navionics or a lake map even, and a piece of rope and some fishing rods and bait, I mean, you can pretty much come do this springtime when they're on the shoals. I really hope that camera angle is wide enough to see most of these rods. I'm not even sure if y'all can see them at all, but I can see them pretty good for right now. So if you're specifically striper fishing, you probably fish a little bit differently, but there's another one. We got another one on here. Let's see what he's got going on. Oh yeah, he's pulling good. Try to keep him from going all the way around the boat. Try to coax him over to this side if possible. Got to keep him out of that splasher too. Pretty nice hybrid. I'm going to go ahead and use the net on him. Another one in the boat, secured. Sometimes if you're fishing on anchor like this, pitched out, and you keep your lines pretty loose so you don't drag them, they'll gut the hooks a bunch of times. That's why most of the time I just keep the fish. People say that you can cut the hooks out, but probably going to start being a little bit more mindful and throwing the bigger ones back, because honestly there's enough eating size fish out here for everybody to keep, and then just throw the big striper back, because it does seem like the striper to hybrid ratio is a bit off as far, but like I said, once again, I don't really fish for big striper. I praise the Lord when I do get big striper, but I fish in a guide. I basically fish like a guide, pretty much, with the splasher and the knocking stick, just because that's what I like. I like catching numbers of hybrid. I don't really care if they're big. I don't necessarily love when I get on a big pack of small ones, but there'll be some big ones in the mix too. I typically don't I typically won't leave a spot if I catch a bunch of small ones, because you can sit there and put together a box either way. Sift through the smaller ones and get a big one every now and then, every couple fish. It looks like I'm already getting a hit on this rod again that I just threw out. So let's see what we got on here. That was pretty cool, huh? He's taking off with my other line. I can't. Whoa, he's pulling pretty good. Try to get him reeled up without going all the way around the boat, if possible. Yep, there he is. I got it untangled. We're back in business here. Oh no, he's tangled around my anchor rope. I got him. Get your behind in here. This spot has been very, very good to me. This spot has been so good to me. That's 9. That is 9 fish. I better check and make sure. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, though, because they're going to move around on me. All right. I am legally allowed to catch one more fish. Well, one more hybrid or striper, that is. I might sit out here and cut bait for catfish if I'm about to limit out. Typically, if you cut them up, the hybrids, well, I don't know. A lot of guys that fish for stripers will cut bait for stripers, but I don't really catch them much. I don't really catch hybrids and stripers that much when I'm cut baiting. I don't know. But you can sit on the same spot. You can sit on the same spot that you're sitting there hybrid fishing and reel all your rods up once you limit out. Sit on the same spot if you still got a bunch of bait left and start cutting their tails. Sit here all night and catch catfish if you want. Especially if you limit out pretty quick and you're basically not done fishing. You just obviously got to throw all the hybrids back that you catch. I would not recommend culling them out. I think if there's a limit, I don't know, they don't seem to survive very well when you throw them out, especially if you keep them in a cooler, obviously. They definitely don't seem to survive well in a live well or anything like that, from my little bit of experience. So I wouldn't necessarily, I would never basically keep bigger fish and throw the smaller ones back that I've already caught. I try not to throw fish back either way, just because they don't really seem to survive that well. Maybe in the colder months and stuff like that. Never in the summer throw fish back, personally. But yeah, like I said, I donate some of the fish to the VA for the fish fries. And I got some older clients, some older guys that like eating fish, but they can't really move around well and get out on the boat and all that good stuff. So I give a lot of fish away, and then I eat a lot of fish too. I eat a good bit of fish. I eat fish at least once a week. I don't know if you would consider that a lot personally. It just depends who you are, I guess. I personally prefer catfish. I personally prefer eating size catfish if I'm going to eat fish, but striper eat really good too. Striper make good friends with hush puppies for sure. I better count that cooler just to be sure, since I'm at 9. I just want to be pretty sure that I am legal here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I got 9. So hopefully we'll sit here and catch one more fish. And then I'm more than likely just going to go ahead and cut the camera off and enjoy the rest of my evening. And yeah, once we get this last hybrid, if God blesses us with another one, probably going to go ahead and cut the footage until we get ready to clean them, and then I'll show y'all how to do that as well. And then I'm probably going to sit here for a couple more hours and fish for some catfish so I don't waste all that bait. Yeah. So, or maybe I'll keep the bait alive and come back in the morning. I don't know. My wife and kid have been wanting to fish a good bit, so they've definitely been asking to go. So maybe I can take them out here in the morning. Who knows? Speaking of my wife, she just texted me. Oh, they're at the fair. My boy is riding in the race car. Cool. Sure do love being an American, you know? Just out here on the lake, catching some striper and hybrid. Probably gonna catch some catfish later this evening. We're gonna have a good old time. We are gonna have a good old time. Hopefully I'm pretty decent at this YouTube thing. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. I definitely want to try to help people out as much as I can, for sure. These fish can be a little bit tricky to figure out. I grew up fishing on the Edisto River. My Aunt Lolo had property right on the Edisto River down in Walterboro, South Carolina. And I would go spend the summers with my granny and papa down in Summerville, South Carolina, which is near Charleston. Everybody knows what Charleston is. So, anyways, I spent a lot of time down there. So I've kind of been a river fisherman my whole life. I've been a river fisherman, and it was definitely an adjustment, for sure. Figuring out how to fish in a lake. But yeah, I mean, I've put the time in and done the research and learned how to do it, for sure. As you can see, I mean, I think we've been fishing less than 2 hours. We got 10 more minutes basically until we've been fishing for 2 hours. And I am one fish from being limited out. So we'll see what goes on, and if God blesses us with another hybrid or striper, we will be limited out. And then I'm going to go ahead and start cutting some of this bait and throw it back out there so I don't waste everything, because I bought 4 dozen. And I don't even think they're halfway gone, because I haven't even had to rebait really, except for that one time when I had to hook the anchor up. So yeah, I have not had to go through a bunch of bait or work very hard today. Like I said, man, this spot right here has been producing really good for me. This spot has been producing good for me for weeks on end. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I have not ran into a spot like this. But so what it is, we got the main land. There's a big point of land over here to my left. And it's got a couple blow-throughs with some islands and stuff going on. And I am directly out from this island, probably about 50 to 100 foot. And I am on a shoal. And then about another 150 foot out that way, it's kind of shaped like a point right here. But it's really, I mean, I'm not even sure if it's technically a shoal, but it's very shallow right here is what I'm trying to say. And the river channel comes from behind the boat where you're facing, and it comes up and makes like a horseshoe right here. There's a creek over there. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm on a shoal, and basically 3 sides of me is the river channel. So it's got a swing where it's going around me on 3 sides. So I'm strategically placed where in all directions I can throw out and kind of be near the river channel. Or if there's fish can come, you know, from any direction basically out of the river channel when they want to come up here and feed. I'm not too sure if the striper like live up on the shoals or what during this time of year, or if they kind of go a little bit deeper during the day and then come up here to feed. But all I know is if you come sit over here and throw bait out, you're going to catch them, basically. So that's where I'm at. And like I said, I'll show you guys on the lake map on Navionics about the contours and stuff like that, and what to look for when you're looking for certain types of areas to fish and stuff like that. Points are always a good spot. It just kind of depends. It really just kind of depends. I mean, shoals are really good right now. I'm basically sitting on one, but I mean, you could go to 5 other shoals that are within a half mile of here and there not be any fish on them. I'm not too sure. I pretty much just find a spot where there's fish and I'll fish it until it quits producing and move on to the next one. And I definitely try to keep a log of where I'm fishing so that, you know, if I run into a hard couple fishing trips on what I was doing last year or the year before, because I'll have everything written down, all the info, like what the water temp was, the date, how many fish I caught, what I was doing, if I'm pitched out or pulling boards, or if I'm down rodding or whatever I'm doing, you know, the wind, stuff like that. I'll just kind of try to keep a logbook of everything. That way, you know, if I kind of get off track for the year and it's not going too good for me, I can kind of look back and see what was going on. But, you know, I've been doing this for a couple years, fishing for striper and everything, and so I already kind of know what to do. And like I said, I try my best not to get complacent. I'm gonna turn these lights off for 1 second so I can pee off the side of the boat. But yeah, man, I try not to get complacent and fish the same spots. But I mean, if you find a good spot and it's producing, why not? Why not fish there over and over? You know, I do like finding new spots to fish and stuff like that. I think everybody does. But yeah, I mean, if it's producing, I'm there basically until it's not. So anyways, lights back on. Let's chill and wait for another bite, y'all. Pretty much all the largemouth bass fishermen and pleasure boaters are off the water now, so it's a lot calmer out here, and I'm staying a lot straighter because there's not people blowing past me all the time. So that's good. Everything's pretty chill right now. We may be getting a bite on that back rod. I'm looking right at it. Can't tell. I might be dragging just a little bit. We'll see if it doubles over or what it does. I pretty much usually always have somebody fishing with me, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of, oh, we're getting a bite. Quit yapping. Pull up on him, boy. Set that hook. Yeah. All right. And this is going to be number 10 if we get them in the boat. So I need to probably go ahead and reel in all these rods and switch over to cut bait. Pretty sure this is a hybrid or a striper. He's pulling like one, trying to keep him out of that prop. No, it's a channel catfish. It is a channel catfish. That means we get to eat catfish sandwiches this week. Cool. Not sure how well y'all can see on the camera. Let me tap the back of the screen and wake it up. Not sure if y'all can see anything, but a nice little channel cat. I'm gonna go ahead and throw him in the cooler and make some sandwiches out of them. That's a perfect eating size. I mean, you can really eat any of them, no matter what size they are. We're getting another bite right here. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and set the hook on him too. That's kind of weird. Usually catfish, especially those smaller channel cats, they'll just kind of feel like dead weight. He was kind of going crazy. This is definitely a hybrid right here. Or it's at least not a catfish. I know that by how he's fighting. And I was correct. That is a hybrid. So, yeah, that's basically how you do that. If you were wondering, that's how you do it. That is how you catch a limit of hybrid on Clarks Hill Lake. I'm sure it'll work on a lot of other southern lakes as well. I don't see why they wouldn't be doing kind of the same things. But yeah, here he is. I'm gonna go ahead and throw him in the cooler, hit my clicker. I already got 2 rods in. As you can hopefully see, I got 2 rods in right now. I'm gonna go ahead and reel all of these rods in. And get them set up with some cut bait and throw them back out of there. I'm going to throw them back out there to minimize the chances of us catching any more hybrid, because like I said, I'm limited out right now. So yeah, we definitely don't want to get hooked up on any more hybrid. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I can't tell if this is caught or if there's a fish on here. Yeah, no, it's caught. Sometimes that'll happen too, man. Sometimes that'll happen too. You'll kind of move around. It's kind of hard to stay, like perfectly straight or whatever. It's kind of hard to stay perfectly straight, whether you're anchored out or not, no matter what you're doing. And it tends to, if you're pitched out like this, it tends to, you tend to move around a lot. And if there is anything on the bottom of the lake where you're casted out, which there probably is, you do run the risk of, dragging your hook into something and catching it or whatever. That's just the name of the game. That's why I like to try to be prepared. On Friday evenings, I'll typically go ahead and tie up a bunch of knotless knots on some 12 to 15 inch leaders with a couple extra inches to spare for tying. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and do that, and that way while I'm out here fishing, it's not so much work and I can enjoy myself. Because I mean, as you can see, it's been basically exactly 2 hours. I'm limited out. The fish have kept me pretty busy this evening, which is a good thing. I don't mind getting my hands dirty, but they'll keep you busy. So you don't want to necessarily be tying rigs the whole time if you can help it. So if you can afford the extra rods, I would definitely recommend to have a couple extra rods. When I'm pitched out like this, I'll pretty much throw out 8 rods. I bring 10 with me. I'll throw 8 rods out basically, because I think that if you can keep the boat still enough, you can throw out 8 rods, and that's basically about the perfect amount in my eyes to get a good spread of the area that you're in. So anyways, I'm about to cut the camera off basically, and because I'm pretty sure it's like way too dark. I doubt you can see me. So yeah, take it easy. I'll see y'all at the house.